Dyer is graciously presenting this afternoon. So Heather, take it away.
Hello, everyone. I'm Heather Dyer, the owner at Dyer Appliance Academy here in Fort Worth, Texas. If you haven't heard of us before, we've been around for almost 9 years. We pride ourselves on our 2-week basic fundamentals of appliance repair course. We have an advanced seal systems course and also the lockering course, which is a week, twice a month. It's a Saturday and a Sunday class. And we have another class coming. It's going to be great. We're probably going to roll it out in a couple of weeks, about 2 more weeks to everyone. So stay tuned for that. It'll be another weekend class, and it'll be geared toward more advanced technicians. And we're super excited about that. We have our instructor here, Eric Hollister, and a few of our students to talk about washer repairs and diagnostic mode and how that can highly benefit your technician to understand this concept and how everything works. So I'm going to turn it over to Eric and the students here. I don't know how to. Will you turn the video? There we go. Okay.
Hi, everybody. My name is Eric Hollister. I am the lead instructor here at the Dyer Academy in beautiful yet hot Fort Worth, Texas. Here today, I have 2 of our students that are part of the 2-week fundamentals course. We have Joe and Kyle, and both of them are going to be assisting me today in showing how to properly put a unit into diagnostic or service mode, as it's called, depending on the manufacturer. Now, diagnostic and service mode is something that it was actually put together by the manufacturers to assist us technicians in our ability to diagnose and find problems on units that contain control board units that have a user interface, basically their own onboard computer. Now, this has been around since they basically eliminated timers or mechanical controls. We've come quite a long way as far as the ability for the units to diagnose themselves. Matter of fact, most of them are actually going now to a Bluetooth connectivity that normally will have some kind of an app associated that you can actually communicate with the unit via an app, via a Bluetooth device, a smart device. And but what we're going to do today is we're going to show you how to actually access the diagnostic mode manually with a couple of existing units. Now, originally, the units came with what was called a technical data sheet, okay? And a technical data sheet, guys, used to be basically a large sheet that contained all of the service information that pertained to that individual appliance in, lack of a better term, a not so easy to read format, okay? Obviously, you can see it has a lot of information on it. And it used to come free from the manufacturers. They used to provide it with every machine. And someone along the way realized that there was an opportunity that they could go through and actually start charging us to be able to do it. So the manufacturers came out with obviously a subscription rate that you could buy into, whether it's monthly, yearly, or something. And then there's also privately owned platforms which actually have downloadable technical data sheets for many different units. Those are by subscription as well. What we're going to show is on this unit here. This is a top-load washer made by the good folks at GE. We're going to use the old school technical data sheet to be able to put this unit into diagnostic mode. Now, basically, what this is a tool for us to be able to not only view the operation of the unit, but we don't have to be able to wait the whole time to be able to start a unit and let it go through all its functions. what we can do is via the user interface, which communicates with the main control board, we can access into this portion of its program for us to be able to manually go through and operate each individual component or system on the actual unit itself. So like today, what we're going to do is I'm going to have our student Joe, he's going to go through and actually put it into service and diagnostic mode. And then I'm going to have him actually check for voltage on the water inlet valve, the cold water inlet valve solenoid. Now, how this actually benefits us is in the fact of, what if you get an instance to where you do not have cold water coming into your machine? Do you assume that it's the cold water inlet valve? Do you assume it's the control board? Let's not assume anything. You know what that does, right? Assume makes I won't say it, okay? But anyway, all right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put it into diagnostic mode. We're going to get voltage going to the actual, the water inlet valve, which comes from the main control board, and we'll be able to see whether we're getting 120 volts going to that solenoid or not, okay? Joe, would you like come over here, please, and put this unit into diagnostic mode? Now, in the instance of what we actually have, we've got a couple of different things that I can point out, okay? First and foremost, you have a couple of different modes that you can actually put it into, okay? First off, they've got what's called entry into consumer error mode. Well, we're not interested in that. We're wanting to put it into field service mode entry, okay? And what they typically do is they will give you a couple of different options based off of what style machine you actually have. So we've got two different options. One is for a different display unit versus the one that we have. But to enter into that service mode, there is one application, okay? Joe, would you go ahead and please read off how to enter the unit into its field service mode, and then go ahead and execute that, please.
Okay. From an idle state only, press and hold start button while rotating the cycle selection knob 180 degrees, 7 clicks, and then release the start button. Once service mode is engaged, all LEDs will be flashing.
So by going through and doing the exact procedure, now that's a key element here. When you put a unit into diagnostic mode, you have to literally follow the directions to an absolute T. Okay, a lot of technicians get into trouble that they'll rush through, they won't follow exactly what the directions say. If it says wait a half a second and they wait too long, well, it's not going to work. But in this case, there is no time element to it. So please go ahead and put it in as described.
Do we move it? Should we move this closer? Let's move it closer.
Okay, we're going to move it a little closer so you guys can actually see what's going on. Take that plant from the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, that works. Hold it 3 seconds.
Is that better?
I apologize. What we did is we didn't bring it close enough to where you can actually see.
Bring it down.
Okay, we exited out of the service mode, and now let's go ahead and give it a shot. Let's do it now. Now, being that all LEDs are now flashing, this indicates that this unit is now in its diagnostic mode, and it's ready for us to actually go through and run through the sequence to be able to do the testing that we want to accomplish. Okay. Now, on this unit here, it says, once the washer is in service mode, the following service features are available via the cycle knob on some models. Now, what we're going to try and do is I want to be able to test the water inlet valve. And the water inlet valve, or the cold water valve, is number
Hold on,
7.
so they're just seeing a black screen.
Is number 7 on our mode. So what it says to do is to turn the selector knob.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, 1 second. We're having technical difficulties, I guess.
Ask Sarah if it's a black screen, if they're seeing just a black screen.
Sarah, are they seeing just the black screen, or are they seeing the machine?
Oh, they see the machine. Okay, continue.
They're good? Okay. Just kidding. All right, back to this. So we can use our selector knob to go through all of the different sequences to try and find whatever we're looking for. In this case here, let's say the customer said that they are not getting any water coming, any cold water coming into their unit. Well, obviously we don't need to do a lot of the actual looking as far as like a drain pump or things of that nature. But if you look on the actual screen, you can see number 7. Number 7 in mode is our cold water valve. So what we would want to do is we would want to advance to number 7 on the screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and initiate. Now, what that is doing is that is allowing cold water now into the unit itself. Okay? Now, if we were wanting to actually check to see for the voltage to make sure that we were getting the right voltage, if we were not getting water coming into the unit, we would have the ability to now test using a meter to be able to see if we have our 120 volts. Okay? Now, using a multimeter, setting it to voltage, we're going to look for alternating current. Doing this without my glasses on, I apologize. All right, Joe. Now we looked on the technical data sheet. The technical data sheet pointed us in the direction that this solenoid right here is what receives the 120 volts from the main control board and should be receiving the voltage. Now, in order to be able to double check that, you can use your multimeter and you can safely actually initiate, put your leads into the back of the unit like Joe is doing right now. As long as it's coming in contact, it stays in contact with the leads on the back of the unit, we can go ahead and initiate and make sure that we're getting the right amount of voltage. We can hold that, please. Okay. Right now it's showing no voltage. Let's initiate the test. And no, we are not. We have good connection. There we go there. It just was a little loose. So you can see how we're able to read the voltage going to the individual solenoid while the unit is filling with water. You can do so safely. Okay? Now, in order to now stop it, we will once again hit the start button, which will initiate stoppage. It's now safe to go ahead and remove the leads from the back of the water valve itself. And now we're free to go ahead and test anything else that we'd like to on this machine. Okay? Now that we have some water inside the unit, I would say, hey, let's go ahead and test out the actual drain pump. Might as well. We're here, right? So I would look on and see where my drain pump is located. That is number 12. So let's continue on. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now it says, pressing the start will toggle the drain pump on and off. The test will have a 4-minute timeout for how long the drain pump will now be on. Well, we don't have a full unit, so it should drain out within a decent amount of time. But toggling the start switch, it should actually turn the drain pump on. We're draining out water. And that'll stay on for a period of 4 minutes if we let it go that long. All I want to do is just drain the water that's actually inside the tub, which got in from when we were actually filling it with the cold water valve. But it's literally that simple, folks. It truly is. If your technicians are not using the machine's capabilities to its maximum potential, they're spinning their wheels. Okay? Like I said, these units here have an awful lot of capabilities. Okay? Use the machines to their full capabilities to maximize the amount of efficiency that your technicians are working in. All right? Now, once we have drained out all the water itself, we can go ahead and stop the function. And now we're free to go about and do whatever we want to do next to the unit. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to take this unit out of its diagnostic mode. Okay? Take it out of the diagnostic mode. And then we're going to go over to this style. And I want to show you the difference in diagnostic mode between the two styles. Okay? In order to take this GE out of its diagnostic mode, it says to hold the start button for 3 seconds. Okay? 1, 2, 3. We're good. All right? Now, at this point in time, if I could get Kyle to actually come over here and show the different diagnostic mode, that would be fantastic. Switching up the camera. Very good. Now, this unit here, this is a Whirlpool, a Whirlpool top load unit. Okay, it has a different ability or a different style of diagnostic mode. Okay, now in this one here, it did not come with a paper technical data sheet. This one here has an electronic version. And we were able to get this going through one of those subscriptions I was talking about, okay? And no, I'm not going to plug anybody's subscriptions. Okay, so I'm not going to say where I got it. But anyway, it clearly defines as far as how you were able to put the unit into activating the service/diagnostic test mode. Now, this unit here is a little bit different, okay? This one here does not have a clear, concise user interface like the GE model had. This one uses LEDs to be able to communicate its functions. So it's a little bit more complex, a little bit harder to actually use, okay, for novice technicians. But once you actually get used to doing it, you've done it a few times, it's really not so bad, okay? So you owners, you business owners, you service managers, guys, don't think in the fact that you're going to have a brand new technician that's going to be able to come in and they're going to have just an immediate comfort level in putting a unit into diagnostic mode. Give them a couple of units to play with, spend some time with. It's all about getting familiar as well as comfortable with the machines for them to be able to do it really effectively, okay? Okay, Kyle, if you could go ahead and put this unit here into its diagnostic mode. If you could read off how you're supposed to actually do that, it would be fantastic so they can hear it.
So you'll turn the dial to the left to reset. You turn it counterclockwise once or more to clear the sequence. Then you'll turn it to the right, one click and wait half a second. You'll turn it to the right once again and wait another half second. You'll do that process once more. Then you'll proceed to turn it to the left, one click and wait another half second. Then rotate it back to the right, one more, and it will be back into diagnostic mode.
So in the fact of what we're doing here is we're taking the selector knob and we're starting out by clearing by going to the left, waiting a half a second, and then 3 clicks to the right, each time waiting a half of a second as per their instructions. Back to the left for 1 half second, back to the right for 1/2 second. I know it sounds a little complicated, but you'll get very, very used to this program. Would you please demonstrate, Kyle, what we just talked about? You want to put it on the actual machine so he can see it? Sure. Not me, the other way.
Down.
There we go. Okay. Very good. Now, he has successfully put this unit into diagnostic mode. And it says so because all of our LED lights, except for the actual, the lock button, as per the instruction on here, says exactly that. It says if all LEDs except for the lock light are blinking, the unit is successfully in diagnostic mode. Okay, very good. Now, there are different types of diagnostic or service mode. Okay.
Yeah, got it.
We're not professional camera folks, so we're having some technical difficulties. Please bear with us. Okay. Now, guys, what you're going to get is you're going to get either an automatic diagnostic mode or a manual diagnostic mode. Now, me personally, I like to put a unit into its manual diagnostic mode. I'm kind of a control freak, okay? But what that actually does is I can go directly to pinpoint exactly what system or function that I'm wanting to actually replicate at this time, okay? So it gives the directions on how to put the unit into its manual mode. And it has to do with the light configuration, the LED light configuration. Now, Kyle, would you go ahead and put that into its manual diagnostic mode? It's the third one down, isn't it? Okay. So you turn the lever until you get the lights in the correct configuration to be able to execute the manual diagnostic mode. Is that it? Okay. And then it hits start to execute. Fantastic. Okay. Now, we're going to go through and you start to scroll through all the pages. Yes, there's a lot of information on these. This unit here has 44 pages of the technical data sheet. That's a lot of information, okay? So I understand it can be a little overwhelming for your technician, especially for the first time, okay? But in this instance here, guys, I want to show that it clearly states that your unit is for service technician use only. That is very important to understand because, guys, this is not for homeowners. This is for us professionals to be able to do our jobs professionally. So please tell your technicians that they should not share this information with homeowners, okay? That might be bad. So the first one I come across is automatic test mode. All right, I don't want to show automatic test mode, but if you wanted to go through automatic test mode, it will run through all of the cycles in a very specific pattern, in a very specific fashion. Each one of them usually will have a couple of minutes associated with it. It's a lot more time consuming, and hey, we're in a business of time is money, so you want to have them actually use the manual diagnostic mode. So here is our manual test mode or manual diagnostic mode. Now, once again, it does clearly show in the fact that we have to read what our LEDs tell us in what configuration they are for us to be able to do the specific functions. Okay. Now, the first one that we actually see is the door lock function. Kyle, would you go ahead and demonstrate being what it actually says? Now, in this one here, it says that if no lights are showing on the LED screen, if none are showing, that to go ahead and hit the start button should turn on and activate the actual door lock. And by hitting it once again, it should unlock it. So come a little closer if you could, please. And by hitting the start button, we heard the actual, the latch itself, which is clearly locked, and our lock button has now been engaged, which means that we have successfully been able to go ahead and lock the unit. And it'll stay in this function until we actually turn that portion off. Once again, we'll go ahead and hit the start button, which will deactivate it. And now we can go ahead and put it through to the next function that we want to test. Now this one here is I'm going to have Kyle actually activate it into the drain pump mode, because what I want to show is the ability for us to actually get down and check for voltage at our drain pump. All right, because of the fact if you have an issue on it with a wash machine and the unit isn't draining, unfortunately a lot of technicians don't do their due diligence, and they'll just assume, oh, we got to change out the actual drain pump, when in reality there could be other problems associated. So what we want to do is always start by seeing if our drain pump is getting the proper amount of voltage going to it to be able to do its job. And putting it into our manual diagnostic mode, we can activate the drain pump to be able to check for voltage going to that unit. Okay? Then it eliminates the ability to, or the reason to actually guess whether it's good or not. Okay? Now, Kyle, go ahead and go through and find the unit that it says drain, the drain pump. And he's just sequencing, getting the lights to basically match up with what his technical data sheet is saying. There you go, you got all three. And now he will activate it by hitting the start button. Now, I don't know if you can hear that or not, but the drain pump has been activated. And guys, the drain pump will stay on for a period of 4 minutes unless we actually turn the unit off. Okay? Now, if we didn't hear the drain pump come on, we don't know if whether or not we're getting the voltage to it or we're not getting voltage to it. Okay? So we would have to guess without actually testing. But here at the Dyer Academy, we like to do testing. It's all about hands-on. Okay? So at this point in time, we'll go ahead and deactivate the drain pump, and then we'll get the unit itself into a position to where we can put our hands on and do an actual test of the drain pump while it's actually in place. So I've deactivated the operation of the drain pump at this time. And now we're going to go ahead and check for the voltage at the actual, the load at the drain pump itself. Okay? Go ahead and back up some because we're going to get underneath the unit a little bit. Hopefully Heather doesn't trip over the table. Okay. You're gonna get down.
Get down some for you.
Is that enough room for you, go? 0.0. Little range, hit range. Keep going, keep going. There you go, 0.0, alternating current. Very good. Okay. Now go ahead and put the leads into the back of the actual cables. Can you read those, Kyle? I can't. Okay, hang on one second. Back up some. Scoot it out a little bit. Hang on. We're getting there. Give a little more room. Now what he's doing is are you unplugging the actual plug or are you sticking him into the back of the connector? Unplugging the actual plug. Okay, so what he's going to be doing is he's unplugging the plug itself, and he's going to stick the test leads to be able to see if we're getting the proper amount of voltage going to that actual pump. Now currently the pump is not activated in test mode. We will have to activate it. Okay, hold up the actual, the multimeter. If you got 120 volts going to it, I've activated it. Are we getting our voltage?
Give me a second. with hands and small spaces together.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take power off of it for now while you get it situated. No pressure. Just all of America's watching you right now. Would you like me to get a code?
I think it should, maybe.
We have a question.
Okay, I can answer a question.
The drain pump lights equaled 7 in binary code. Was the manual test number 7 as well on the tech sheet?
Correct.
Also, I got it.
You got it?
Yep.
Okay, now he's got his connections in there. I'm gonna go ahead and activate the actual, the drain pump. Okay, are we getting 120 volts?
Yep.
So by seeing that we have 120 volts going down to the drain pump itself, if our drain pump did not come on at this time, and we're getting the right amount of voltage from the main control board, that would indicate that we have a bad drain pump. This eliminates the guesswork, folks. Okay? Now I'll go ahead and deactivate it. Kyle, you can go ahead and then reattach the plug. Power is off at this time. Go ahead and plug her back in so she's working again.
All right.
Okay. And then you can come on up. Now, there are other functions that these units have, but these are some pretty basic models. Obviously, with more complex units, you would have more functions that are available. But at this point in time, I would love to hear if anybody has any questions. Anything at all?
Yeah. Someone texted me a question. Is this difficult for new technicians? Is this process difficult for new technicians? Might want to repeat that.
It's not a level of difficult, but it definitely comes with with practice. As you can see, there is a very specific way that you have to do it. And technicians, they will get very comfortable with it once they've done it a few times. They'll see that each diagnostic or test mode to be able to get into that function is relatively close from manufacturer to manufacturer, model to model. But please keep in mind, most of them are just a little bit different. Any other questions? We're looking.
Do you guys have any questions?
John just raised his hand, so I allowed him to speak. John, are you able
Hi.
to speak or do you want to type it?
I'll speak it. Can you
Awesome.
hear me? Hi, I'll give you a tip. If you plug your meter in at the other end of the plug, it's a whole lot easier to get in.
1 second, John. You say it again.
I didn't hear you, John.
Yeah. It's a whole lot easier to get your meter plugged in at the other end of the plug.
Oh, absolutely. While the plug is actually into the unit itself?
When it's unplugged, plugged or unplugged. It's just a lot
Okay.
easier.
I got you. Yeah.
Try that. Make it easier.
Thank
on
you very
yourself.
much.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments?
Here, I'll go back to me.
I'm not seeing any.
So this one, user facing, go back to user facing. All right, well, thanks for everyone's time. I know it's hard to take time out of your day, but we appreciate your time. And if you have any questions, I'll put my email here in the chat. You can email me, or you can email Eric or Chris. Chris takes most of the phone calls coming in every day. You know, give us a call, ask us questions. You know, if you would like to see more trainings, you know, contact us or contact Sarah, and we'd love to offer more training.
Yes, definitely. Let's plan it for the future, the near future, for sure. Thank you, Heather and Eric, and your cast and crew over there. We appreciate everything that you guys did. And if anyone has any questions, like Heather said, you can please feel free to reach out at heather@dyerapplianceacademy.com or Eric, which is ERIC, at dyerapplianceacademy.com. We thank you, everyone, for attending today. And Heather, thank you for coming on and having your team train. We appreciate it.
All
And
right.
we'll see you all soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thank